Hey guys, what's up? I'm Connor, and welcome back to your Time Sweeps podcast.
I'm Gary.
And I'm Wyatt, and this week we're going to be talking about some more obscure Marvel characters as Moon Knight comes out by the time that this is uploaded.
And we're back.
Oh, okay. So, Marvel, been around for a while.
Solid 80 plus years at this point.
So obviously there are going to be characters that don't get as much of a spotlight as others. And I mean, until recently, Moon Knight was. I mean, not many people heard of him. My mom asked me, "Who the hell is Moon Knight?" Whenever the trailer dropped. So that tells you.
And that's a pretty fair question to a certain degree.
I mean, like, Moon Knight sometimes doesn't even know who the hell Moon Knight is. But I mean,
it wasn't until recently they actually worked that into his character.
Exactly.
In the 70s, he was like in full control of that, and he was just like, "Oh yes, at night I'm Jake Lockley. I'm a cab driver."
A good way to explain Moon Knight is, you know that movie Split? It's that plus Batman plus Egyptian gods plus werewolves sometimes.
There's an asterisk to the Egyptian gods part, and that's only a recent thing too.
Yeah.
Khonshu is apparently an elder god like Cthulhu, so that's an interesting new thing. So he has that going for him as well, and that's why he's so mean apparently.
Yeah.
That's why Khonshu is just kind of a
random bullshit. Go.
Dracula, you nerd! You still owe me $20.
I think like if we're gonna start it off, I think one of my favorite obscure Marvel characters. I mean, it's not as obscure. I mean, he was featured in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, but Kazar. He's like Tarzan if Tarzan was dumped on Jurassic Park.
Yeah, he was raised by saber-toothed tigers in the Savage Lands underneath the Antarctic.
What's the island called?
The Savage Land.
The Savage Land?
Wolverine goes there for vacations. When Professor X goes there, he's able to walk. It became this area where they could sell comics with the title Savage Tales, which were all supposed to be jungle-trotting adventures, and you could have dinosaurs and saber-toothed tigers and a whole bunch of adamantium and whatever other random metal you need.
And Kazar has a saber tooth that runs around with him
That's
as well.
His brother.
It's his brother, right.
Like, and seriously.
What's his name?
It's... Darn.
Kazar
Brother
and
Zabu.
Zabu! It's spelled X-A-B-U?
Z-A-B-U.
Well, either way.
I mean, and also, it's just funny. Like, the description of his origin story is literally damn near the exact same as,
Tarzan?
Tarzan. Kevin Plunder was the son of an English nobleman who was the first to discover the prehistoric world known as the Savage Land that was hidden in the frozen Arctic and appeared. Well, it's not the same, but like the premise: boy's father dies, boy gets raised by creatures of the wild. Except this is saber-toothed tigers.
Yeah, instead of like human-like gorillas that have thumb and hands and can teach you how to do things.
Yeah.
He's raised by saber-toothed tigers and has clothes for some reason. And spears.
He was introduced in X-Men number 10.
Yep.
When, like, the original X-Men run.
Yeah.
So that's been around he's been around a long time.
Yeah, like, the amount of time that he has actually been around is relatively insane when you really put it down to, like, the brass tacks of it. And not a lot of people know who he is, and I think he's fun. He's Tarzan, but with dinosaurs and saber-toothed tigers.
Right.
Sometimes you'll find the other,
Instead of gorillas.
The mammoth or something like that.
Yeah, you'll find mammoths and other crap, and which, like, he's one of those characters that I think he is completely underutilized. Like, they had an Avengers team recently called Savage Avengers.
And he wasn't in it?
He was not in it.
Seriously?
Conan was in it.
Conan
the Barbarian. That was, like, one of the first things Marvel did after they got the comics. Well, yeah, like Conan the Barbarian.
Seriously?
He is part of an Avengers team.
You're joking.
I am not. So let's see. I can't remember all the characters. I know Venom's there.
Of course.
Wolverine was there.
Of course.
They took a bunch of Marvel characters, and technically Conan, the comic character, is a Marvel character to a certain range.
I think Conan O'Brien's more involved with
He's owned by
DC.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, he's signed a contract. He's in
Isn't
Lego
the
games.
Conan the Barbarian based off of him, or no?
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Of course, yes.
He was written way before Conan O'Brien was born,
Oh, okay.
or probably before.
I thought Conan O'Brien dressed up as him though once.
probably once.
Probably for the meme, yeah.
Yeah, because like Conan, the literary character, I can't remember the first time he was released into the world, but if I'm not mistaken, it was the 30s.
Yeah.
He is contemporary with the writings of H.P. Lovecraft.
Mm-hmm.
All of those characters: Red Sonja, Solomon Kane, King Cole. No, maybe I don't remember his name.
I've watched.
I know someone I could call up right now who'd be able to tell me, but I'm sure he's at work.
Yeah.
But that team was very weird. It's still running line, apparently. Has not been canceled. Savage Avengers. I actually went to a vintage stock and it was there still on the shelf. Like current. Or current publications, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Or at least at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
Someone please prove me wrong.
Oh yeah, Jason Momoa was in that movie.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
That
that was an early role.
It
for
should
him.
not have
Nope.
existed. Jason
Jason
Momoa
Momoa was
played Conan the Barbarian.
Barbarian.
Oh yeah.
And he looks super tiny in that movie for some reason. Like
Well,
he
it's
still looks
because
like a
he's-
large muscular man, but he looks like
well,
It's
when
'cause
was
he's
it
not-
made?
2011.
is that it's bad.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a remake of the first Arnold movie.
Oh.
And it does not do a good enough job.
2010.
It's not good.
How many years is that post Baywatch for him?
Oh, good
I mean,
question.
Baywatch was like 90s, if I'm not.
It's
Mistaken.
early 2000s too.
Was Jason Momoa on
Baywatch in early
the one
2000s,
with
yeah.
David Hasselhoff.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
That sound
He's like
Really?
a teenager surf boy.
I have
Like,
so,
that was his first
my
role, I think.
reality is hurting from that. I don't know.
I think that was like one of his first roles.
It was his first role, I think.
And then he went on to do like
went on to do Conan.
Conan, maybe.
He was also supposed to star in a movie recently for The Crow, and that never happened. Like they did a makeup test, they
Crow.
did costume test, and for some reason it just fell out. Don't know what happened to that. But-
Anyway, let's talk about the most underrated Marvel character of all time. Of all time and space.
Of all time
Of
and
all the
space, the most
multiverses.
underrated Marvel character has to be that picture looks wrong. I don't like that. I just got showed a picture of young Jason Momoa, and it looks like Taylor Lautner before Twilight, and that's weird.
Okay.
They looked alike at one point. That's weird.
Okay, back on topic.
The most underrated Marvel character of all time.
Howard the Duck.
Is Hindsight Lad.
All right, please make your cases.
He's a 12-year-old kid, has the power of hindsight, tricked the Avengers to let him run around with them for a while. Once again, how can you beat hindsight? Hindsight's 2020. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
It still has to happen after something.
He has mirrors on his helmet. I don't know if they're usable or not.
Hold
but
on,
they're
what?
there.
What do they think hindsight means in his case?
Sight behind.
No, like hindsight, like he's able to be like, okay, guys, I don't think we should do this.
We should have done this instead.
I don't think we should do this. I think we should do it this way. And it's like, oh, hindsight's 2020, I guess,
What is the mirrors for?
because he can.
Because the gimmick
he sees all the
behind.
round. He sees everything, but he's really just a little kid. But he has underpants on the outside,
Of course he does.
and like he honestly looks like Chum Chum from Fanboy and Chum Chum.
I think the gimmick for him.
I don't
like,
know
the
if you
comic
remember
gi-
that
the comic,
awful show.
Oh, I remember that show.
The comic book like costume gimmick would probably be the mirrors on the back of his head, so he can see behind him, and underwear on outside of him, so that you can see his behind.
Can't lose a fight if everything is always behind
Also,
you.
Howard the Duck is a duck who can. I'm gonna leave it there.
He's a trans-dimensional being. That is... Wait a minute. I feel like I've...
See, he has mirrors that I'm not even sure are usable.
Yeah, I don't...
Because they're
They're-
off to the
they're
side
like-
of his head instead of in front of
Yeah,
his
they're
eyes.
like car mirrors. So they're aesthetic mirrors.
Yeah, that's what I said. They kind of look like ears. But yeah,
That's
the
the
most
costume I should make
valuable
for
member of the
Comic-Con.
Avengers, I think.
I can see it. I can see that being
Like,
helpful.
hey, Iron Man, I don't think we should blow that up. I think we should blow this up because that will blow that up.
See, that sounds more like future sight, though. That sounds more like he's thinking about something and be like, hey,
Or
Iron
maybe-
Man,
maybe-
let's think about the consequences of our actions.
Let's read it. Let's read one of his comics.
And then Howard the Duck is an alcoholic transdimensional being.
Howard the Duck.
He's a transdimensional being. He's from another dimension. They actually did a really weird, huge story where it turns out, like, because it has something to do with the actual creator of Howard the Duck and the rights to it, and he went on to make other duck characters for a different company.
Yeah,
And
and
there's
Howard the Duck changed his name.
Yeah, it turns out it's like an Arsenal situation. It's a clone. The original Howard the Duck or it's weird. Yeah, there's a lot to that. More than I ever anticipated to ever occur. And I can further say that's why Howard the Duck is an alcoholic. He's had a hard life full of war. And women. Lots of women that are super into ducks for some reason.
Okay, so this is what his powers say. It says when confronted the fact that he had no superhuman powers, he designed a makeshift costume and called himself Hindsight Lad, professing his ability to discern tactical strategy after the fact.
So he's just a
So
dude.
he'd be like, "Hey y'all just fought those guys and lost, but you should have done this, that, and the other, and you would have won."
Let's make that some YouTube videos.
Hindsight Lad?
Let's make him into a
Well,
YouTube
didn't
video.
South Park do something like that?
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Like,
But I mean, like, let's market it like we're part of the Marvel Universe.
Introducing Hindsight
just
Lad.
getting sued. Like,
I'll get sued
immediately.
for it. Or technically, I don't know if they can sue us right off the bat. They'd probably be like, hey, take it down or we'll sue you.
And then we just slap a fan.
It'll be
film,
like
you own
Meat
it.
Canyons.
It's a parody. Come at me.
I mean,
It'll
it's
be
all-
like Meat Canyon's hunting wabbits video. Like, hey, you got to take that down. It's now canon in our universe.
It's true. I was going to say, if they ask us to take it down, it's apparently canon.
Sorry, guys.
Remember that. This audio may be important for the future. Please remember when we say this. To the viewers who watch this specific part of this episode, please remember, our words may stand one day. Coming
Yeah.
soon to you this summer, we might make... I love Kazar.
Yeah, I know.
Also, another kind of weird character is Beta Ray Bill. He's referenced in the MCU too,
Right.
and on the statue or on the tower and at whatever that planet's called.
On a Sakaar.
Sakaar. He's there.
And if you watch, let's see, in-game when Nebula and Gamora are fighting with the rest of Thanos' forces on that one planet, like, you know when Nebula spurgs out because there's now two
There's
Nebulas
now
in the
two-
same
yeah.
place and the computers are going against each other?
Right.
Those aliens that they are fighting are armored up versions of the species that Beta Ray Bill is. Or at least that's what they're supposed to be. And I'm really hoping that in Thor Love and Thunder, we're getting a post-credit scene with Beta Ray Bill.
Well, see, so Beta Ray Bill is the original wielder of Stormbreaker,
Yes.
and Stormbreaker is not a big ol' massive axe in the comics originally. It's it's kind of the size of Mjolnir, and the front half of it's still a hammer, but the back side of it's an axe,
It's and it's gold.
and it's golden.
Well, I mean, I think they just made it like that so they could differentiate the two.
Well, I mean, they did, but
Well, they did, but we're talking
in
that
the
is
comics.
how it
Yeah.
looked.
Yeah.
But now Stormbreaker is just an axe. It's like Kratos' axe.
It's the Leviathan.
The
axe,
Leviathan
made
axe,
of
thanks.
Groot, big and heavy,
Well, I'm thinking
has the power of the Bifrost.
that in this next episode, next episode, this next movie, it'll have a normal handle on it, and not have Groot's arm on it.
Possibly, because it's still really huge.
Right.
Because the head of it's still gigantic.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's twice the size of Mjolnir.
Where's the handle?
We need the handle.
We need the handle. He needs the axe. That's my impression
Of Peter Dinklage.
of Peter Dinklage. And
He's gonna die without the axe.
Oh my God.
he needs the axe.
And then a teenager comes to save him.
A teenage
A
Groot.
teenage tree boy.
You get a little sap, and you have all the confidence in the world.
All right. So what other
It's-
obscure characters?
So you've noticed a thing where I've said that I love some of these characters.
Yes.
Almost all these characters that we've just said, I love them.
Yes.
You want to know an obscure character that I really don't enjoy?
Who?
Darkhawk.
Like
Why?
that archangel looking dude.
There's Archangel, and then there's like the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse Archangel. No, Darkhawk is a street level character,
Oh.
and he has like this cape that flows. He turned 30 or 40 recently, and they actually made that like a big deal. And so there was like more stuff going on with that than the 10 years of Miles Morales. And it's like, yeah, that's him. I kind of hate him.
He's kind of like a metal, like he has like Falcon wings. Like,
yeah, he has wings like comic book Falcon. He can like shoot the blades out of him. He has a visor that kind of makes him look like Gigan from old Godzilla movies.
Or Iron
He-
Man.
I'd say more like a Power Ranger, to be honest.
Yeah. What do you mean Iron Man?
I don't know.
Like,
Like
his
like
visor has more like the
Silver
Cyclops
Centurion
thing
Iron
Yeah,
Man
like
going
a
on.
deal.
Cyclops.
But like the eye is what
Or
I'm
like
yeah.
that makes it look like it's a Magneto helmet.
Yeah, he's
almost.
gone through some iterations of his costume. It
Why?
changes sometimes.
That is literally a Power Ranger, and you can't convince me that it's not.
That's kind of the era that he was slightly before Power Rangers, but just at the right time that he now looks like modern Power Ranger stuff. And it's like, how, what, why?
And this picture makes him look like Nova.
And he just kind of is like, why do you exist? Why? Who likes you?
It's he's a character that doesn't need to be there.
Right, and he does the same job, not as good as other people, and twice as edgy.
I mean, that can be said about a lot of characters, though.
That's true, but he does it bad, overall. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because, like, I'd rather read a comic about Falcon if I'm going to watch a dude fly around and shoot blades of feathers that
Yeah.
can go through stone.
But, like, you
Or
can
read
say...
a Moon Knight comic, or read a Daredevil comic.
But,
yeah,
like,
if
you
I
can-
want to read street-level characters, there's a list
Yeah.
of people.
Or Spider-Man, even.
But you can say the same thing, like, between... What is it? Like, I lost my train of thought here. Damn it. I'll come back to it. I had two characters in my brain, and then...
They merge
they're
together.
Then they're gone now.
But yeah, Darkhawk last year, he became, I think it was 40. He was released 1980. I think that's what it was, or 1981.
Just think about
yeah.
living in a time where Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were just pooping out characters like left and right.
And that's the thing. I don't know who made this guy. I don't think, like,
Either
I'm
of
sure
them
there
did?
was probably a Stanley Presents on it, but that was
Well, that man put his name on everything.
right. There was like Stanley Presents Star Wars comics. It was
Right.
everywhere. It's like
He even had a Justice League comic that he wrote.
right. That was
Like-
it's all there. At this point, I'm not sure what Jack Kirby was doing. I don't think he was definitely not at Marvel
What,
anymore
he was,
by 1980.
Was he at DC then?
He was at DC for a while because he did New Gods, Darkseid, a bunch of Superman stuff. But by 1980, I'm not sure where Jack Kirby was off the top of my head. I actually watched a documentary series on Roku about that not that long ago, and it's really interesting.
Oh.
And if you look up the character...
Tom DeFalco, and Mike Manley.
I don't know who Mike Manley is.
They are co-creators of Darkhawk.
Well, if we can find them, I'm going to tell them to their face, it's like, I'm sure you did better work. I just think Darkhawk is not... I know of one person who likes Darkhawk. In the span of everything. One person. And it's Dan from the Game Grumps. He's the only person I have ever heard say on record, oh yeah, I love Darkhawk.
You hear that, Game Grumps? We're calling you out.
Specifically Dan. Danny Sexbang. I am calling you out for liking Darkhawk, a subpar Marvel character.
I feel
like Howard the Duck.
I feel like the Darkhawk problem is a lot more prevalent on the DC side.
It is. You'll find characters that are
Yeah.
rehashes of other characters
I mean,
all the time.
Hell, Green Arrow was at one point a rehash of Batman. He had an arrow cave and he had an arrowmobile and
Rich guy with toys.
and a
that-
sidekick who wore red.
And Speedy, I think, was first, too.
Yeah, that's maybe.
Maybe. Actually, I can't remember that for sure.
I don't know, but I mean, they have since differentiated his character enough to the
But
point.
they were, essentially
But
at the beginning, they were the
Hell-
same
hell,
character in different costumes.
CW had made it like
They-
brought back. They made it like made Green Arrow Batman.
Because they couldn't have Batman.
Yeah, because
I know, but still, they had brought in Ra's al Ghul.
Well, like to me,
that still makes me mad.
To me, Green Arrow is supposed to be like a kind of like Batman and Spider-Man. Like he's supposed to be Batman, but he's supposed to be quippy and like enthusiastic about
and
living
kind of like nice to a certain
like,
degree,
funny, right? And Batman's the edgelord, of course. But in the Arrow show, they made Oliver Queen the edgelord.
Which I mean, for what they were doing,
it worked for the show
good.
for the first couple seasons. For the first like 5 seasons, to be honest with that show, in my opinion.
Yeah, that show was good for a while.
That show did not end on a good note, I don't think.
No, none of the CW shows ever do.
Well, I think it's the only one to have ended.
Smallville ended up on a good
technically.
note.
Did it?
Of like the Arrowverse,
Yeah.
at least.
I mean, it was a story about Clark Kent, and then he became Superman, and it ended.
I
Superman.
remember there's a moment in Big Bang where Sheldon is complaining about a TV show, committing to watching a TV show, and it's The Flash actually. He's like conflicted on committing to watching The Flash because he thinks the show could go on for years, which it did and has.
It's doing right now.
It's a commitment, and he's like, I commit. This happened to me in Smallville. I had to wait 8 years just to see a man that I already know could fly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
I think it was more like a budget thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
And it's hard to watch.
And now he doesn't even have powers. Thanks, CW.
I mean, it stayed within character, I think, for that Superman.
Right.
Because I think most
He gave
Superman
up
would
his
see it
powers
as
to
just
save
like,
Lois, right?
yeah, so that way he could be with them and like just them, taking time
Right.
for himself. Kind of like how Captain America did that in Endgame, where he's like,
I hated everyone who was like, that's the selfishest thing I've ever seen Captain America do.
it's like it's not
because
and it's
me being me, I was like, it's because you haven't seen Captain America do anything selfish ever. So shut up.
I was gonna say,
Let him be selfish for
it's
once.
the most selfish thing by dedicating his life to the woman he loves. There you go.
Shut up, nerd. You're just mad because you don't have a girlfriend.
It's pretty much it.
Incels abound.
Proceeds to cry.
Proceeds to cry.
You don't understand love.
You don't understand. It's sweet.
He went back in time.
They
85
they
years.
to their song. Their song, guys.
They gave a shield to Falcon.
Speaking of the Shield, we could talk about a really interesting Captain America version, Isaiah Bradley, which was hinted at in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Hinted at. That's
Like,
him.
I mean, he was a real
He
character.
was there.
Yeah, I mean, hinted at. I mean, like, the idea of him being Captain America was hinted at, I should say.
Right, like that he has the same background. He was the same person, quote
Right.
unquote, same. Did exactly what Captain America did, but was punished.
Right. But it was for a different war, though, right? It was like for Vietnam?
I think it was Korea?
Or was it the Cold War?
Well, Cold War was technically spanning Korea, Vietnam, and then all
True.
the crap that happened after. I think it was specifically the Korean War that he's referencing,
Yeah.
which even makes it a testament that it's like this was the first war after World War II.
He was sent to jail, and the rest of his subjects died, right?
Yeah, rest of the people that were like given
like
the
him.
serum,
Right.
they're all dead,
It's just Isaiah
at least
Bradley.
from that era.
The character is an early product of the Super Soldier program from World War II. I think in this iteration it was Nam.
I don't think it was Nam. I'm like 90%, 99% sure it was Korea, like in the show.
In the show. Well,
And then the other Captain America, the young one that's in
His
New Avengers,
grandson?
his grandson.
Yes, he's actually in the show as well.
Yeah,
so there's a
yeah.
chance that he could become an actual
He's
character.
the Captain America in the New Avengers, right?
Yeah, the Captain America equivalent. I think he's called like
Right.
Patriot or something.
I think so too. But
He is a character that has like it does a lot in the comics.
Mhm.
He is a like relatively pretty decently margin part in not Secret Wars. Excuse me. Civil War.
yeah,
Because it's like a big thing that he actually goes on he's part of the Heroes on the Run, same with Captain America and so on. And he actually runs through a building in the
You're talking
U.S.
about
government
Civil War
shield.
1?
Yeah, the first Civil
Okay.
War, the good Civil War. And like
Civil War 2 is hard to follow
it's hard to read. It's not good.
because that's during the time where Captain America is the secret Hydra agent.
I think it was just after.
Well, he's still a Hydra agent in the Civil War.
Or is that when it was revealed? I don't remember.
I think it was revealed in Civil War 1. Civil War 2,
Civil War 2.
Comic 1, issue 1.
Because it was like either way, the conflict of Civil War II is just
It's like Iron Man's like, I don't want to do that, and Captain Marvel's like, no, you do that.
I was gonna say, I was in love with Rhodey and he died because Thanos.
Because Thanos.
It's Thanos.
And then they fight over Rhodey, who died.
And I will say though,
And that's the
Tony
instigating
makes
of
a badass Hulkbuster for that comic to fight Captain Marvel.
He really does.
Like that.
That's his job, though.
That's the coolest part about that.
And people will say that's like, oh, he can do anything, anytime, and Batman needs prep time.
Did I say this on the podcast, or did
I think
say
so.
this
We
to
had
you?
we had that as
Where
like
it's
it might have been.
Batman is a person who brings gods to his level, and Iron Man is the person who brings himself up to God's levels. Like,
Although
I
I'd
read
argue-
that and I was like, holy shit, like for real, because Batman will bring Superman down to him.
Until he makes kryptonite gloves and just goes to him and beats him up.
Yeah, but that's still bringing down Superman's power level because he has kryptonite.
Fair.
Because whenever Superman,
Use a weakness when you
whenever
got it.
Superman, I mean, whenever Batman just has kryptonite, like Superman's basically just a normal dude, and Superman has no fighting. Superman relies so heavily on his strength when he's fighting, like
And that's why he's weak to magic.
right. He really has no like fighting skills
Anything.
at all.
He has nothing.
Like he just is like, let me just throw my body into you.
Like he has some boxing practice, maybe, just
Yeah.
because. But no, he relies on existing.
Right. He relies on that big thing we call a sun.
A yellow sun specifically.
Right. Because the
Orange
red
sun will just make him like a normal Joe.
I think
Red
it's
sun.
red sun.
Red sun?
Red
yeah,
sun.
red sun takes away the powers because
Because
Krypton had a red
Krypton
sun.
was like in a solar
Orbiting
system
a red
with
sun?
a red sun.
Oh, okay.
And that's why in the comic book story, Red Sun, or at least the animated movie they made for
Okay.
And why
it,
I think
Batman takes him
in
out by using generators of red sun energy.
there's a show or a game or a comic where he's like sitting in a cell with red sun generator.
Flashpoint.
Flashpoint, yeah.
Mm.
And he's just sitting there.
So obscure Marvel
skinny.
characters.
Right.
We're
on
we've been a
DC.
little off track for a little bit there.
I don't know. I mean, before
There's-
I talked about DC, we were pretty on topic. But
Well,
we
yeah.
can talk about Frogman. I know nothing about him other than he
There's
exists.
not much to know.
like
There's all sorts of characters that are like just animal name, like
Frog
walrus,
Thor.
Spider-Man.
frog,
Spider Pig.
Spider Pig, Spider Ham,
Spider-Man.
Spider Pig,
was
Spider
from
Dam.
Simpsons.
Spider Dam. But
That's what I say before I kill spiders.
Spider Pig is the one on The
Simpsons,
Simpsons.
yep.
Spider Ham is the relatively now well-known character.
Thanks to John Mulaney.
Really. And
Him
have you seen the
so-
outtakes?
No, are they?
They
really funny?
are hilarious.
Hell cow.
Yeah, I still don't. I'm very lost on what Hellcow actually is. Has something to do with Dracula. Has
Oh,
something
like
to
that
do with
thing-
Man-Thing.
He's a vampire cow.
Is that it?
Yes.
I think Man-Thing is really interesting.
I
Like
would
the
call him,
knockoff
yeah.
Swamp Thing?
They came out at the same time, same month.
Yeah, for
You're
real.
joking.
They are both 50 years old. Exactly. July 1971.
What did? Who had an in at what company?
Good question.
Well, I think Swamp Thing is just a more refined Man-Thing, because
To a
Man-Thing's
degree.
more of a monster, and Swamp Thing at least has a little conscious, he
that
has a
that
little-
only happened later. When
Really?
Swamp Thing first appeared, he was just a dude that was trapped in the
in the moss.
yeah. He started in a horror comic, and I found a reprint of it.
You
and
remember
it's
that show that
really
was supposed to
interesting.
happen?
It came out the first season at least, and
was it bad?
No, it is great
Then why did they cancel it?
because it cost them too much money supposedly. I just think that.
Well,
they,
I mean, they probably put more effort in it than the Flash graphics. So I mean,
and that's the thing. It was made for HBO or like the DC Universe app,
Right.
like Titans and Doom Patrol.
but those are all three of those shows now are not canon, right?
Well, they can't.
To DC
They're weird.
Universe,
They're weird.
to the DCEU, we should say.
They were never supposed to be canon to the DC.
I thought Titans was supposed to be DCEU.
No, they had their own Batman and everything, like from the beginning. It has its own universe, and then technically the Doom Patrol exists in that universe, but there is also the Doom Patrol show exists in a different universe, but it's the same cast. Yeah, take that one. I don't even know, and that was made clear in like the CW Crisis on Infinite Earths thing that they did. It was weird.
You remember at the end of the frickin' Flash episode when Ezra Miller just shows up?
Yeah,
He's like, "What?
yeah,
What?
that like.
So is this gonna be canon that like in the Flash movie he's like, yeah, I got the idea to name myself the Flash from another Flash. Because he wasn't even named Flash, but Grant Gustin's like, I'm also the Flash, and he's like, the Flash, and then he goes away.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll accept that multiverse thing.
I mean, I like Grant Gustin as the Flash in the first 2 seasons, but I thought he was great. Like, screw him being too skinny. Screw him like not feeling that. Like, who cares?
To me, the Flash would be skinny though. You know?
Yeah, he's a runner.
Right.
Right.
He's a runner.
He's a runner. He's a track star.
That's why I always kind of find it funny when they do stuff like that, and the people are like, "He's too skinny," and it's like,
I think they're talking about like
Compared
he's just
to the
he's just too skinny to like muscle.
compared to
Like-
the comic book portrayal.
Oh,
every
yeah.
man who portrays a freaking comic book portrayal is too skinny.
right. Not even Ben
Henry
Affleck is
Cavill?
as big
Shit,
as Dark
Tom
Knight
Holland
Returns.
is too skinny to play
Actually,
Spider-Man in
he,
some iterations.
he might be too big.
Henry Cavill is too big to be Superman.
He might be. Because Superman's like a normal dude size, and that's what I think is hilarious. It depends on the iteration.
I think it's hilarious going back to watch those Superman, the Man of Steel, and then Batman v Superman and Justice League, seeing him be Clark Kent. Like this, just jack,
He's just this
250 pound
giant
dude, solid muscle, and a little suit and glasses, and people are gonna say that's not Superman.
Right, and he has more Superman hair when he looks like Clark
Clark Kent,
than he
right.
does when he's Superman.
Like Superman, when he's Superman, he just slicks back his hair.
That's why I think there's a problem like with Superman is that balance of like Clark Kent and Superman, because it's just like, say what
I
you
think
want.
it's
The
a-
glasses change his eye
I
color.
think
It looks like Superman.
I think that whole idea is just changed with time.
It's almost like screw the Clark Kent stuff. It's as much as I love the persona of Clark Kent and the nature of things that it brings, it's hard to balance that when it's Superman. It's extremely hard.
That's something Smallville did very well. People were onto him.
Constantly.
I know
Because
because he looks like freaking.
he looks like him.
Not only that, it's like, well, he was a blur in the photos in
Right.
that show. But like, not only that, it's just like he was so stoked he could do anything. He was there for everyone. He was there.
He was
at
there for
most crime
literally
scenes.
everywhere.
He was a witness at most crime scenes, like that he was involved in. Like
He's literally there.
every
All the
single
time. It's like the Spider-Man theme song. There at the scene of a crime.
Exactly.
He arrives just in time.
Like it's
Sorry.
like that's something I think Smallville did very well.
Well, going back to Marvel
we
and
keep going back to DC.
and talking
I think we're all hyped up for like Batman and stuff still.
and talk.
It's true.
Well, and then like going back to Marvel and then going back to like Multiverse of Madness and going back to the Illuminati. So like Neymar was an original member of
Yeah,
the
he's-
Illuminati,
Original member of the Illuminati, ruler of Atlantis,
ruler of Atlantis in the Marvel universe. Actually, was
second
introduced
second Marvel
before
character.
Aquaman.
Second Marvel character?
Yeah,
Human Torch was technically the first.
Seriously.
and not
He was an
not-
android.
He was an android.
Yeah, he was an
I remember
android.
That.
And then there was that was like the first Avengers, right? Like later, like they were like this was the first. team
I
of
think
Avengers.
they were called the.
They called him the Defend. No.
All Stars.
There was
No, they had a name for it because Captain America was a part of it. There's a lot of obscure characters. There's this lady who also was a part of World War II. Oh, I have a book.
Namor team.
Look up World War II team because there's teams that have Captain
Namor
America.
team, Captain America.
The Invaders. Oh my God, what are they called? But there's other Marvel World War II characters at this time. Like they weren't even called Marvel yet. Is the big thing. And like you have characters like Nick Fury who came about at this type of time. Dum Dum Dugan, the Howling Commandos.
Well, it was Bucky, Namor, Captain America, and the Human Torch.
But what's the team called?
The Invaders.
Yeah.
The Invaders. I have
Why is there 2 Human Torches there?
good question. I don't remember.
Okay.
They're both androids, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, the original Human Torch was an android, and they were like, "Hey, look at this guy over here. That's the brother to Sue Storm. Yeah,
He's the Human
He's
Torch.
the Human Torch now. He's the New Age Human Torch.
Because at that point, most people would have forgot about the original Human Torch.
Right.
Speaking of which, the first issue of Marvel sold for a cool 2.4 million recently, I think.
Really.
Yeah. Which, if I'm not mistaken, there's singular pages from the first Captain America that sold for that much. And recently there was an issue of Action Comics that sold for, I think, 3-something million. And then there was the first appearance of Batman that, like, blew all of those out of the water.
Oh, like the Detective Comics 27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's Batman. If I'm not mistaken, first appearance of Spider-Man also has sold for
Oh
more,
yeah,
technically,
the first
'cause
appearance
Amazing
of
Fantasy.
Amazing Fantasy 14 or is it 15?
God, you had to ask. It's one of the two. It's like the Abraham Lincoln problem. No one remembers.
What's up,
It's
15?
15.
He's 16, right? 15, 16,
It's-
17, 18. He's the 21st. He's the 45th.
He's the 45th.
That's funny.
What's up?
Amazing Fantasy 15. Spider-Man was so popular that it was the last issue of Amazing Fantasy, and
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man took the slot.
Because, yeah,
Yeah.
Spider-Man sold buku.
Well, it's Spider-Man.
Also, what were the
Detective Comics became Batman.
What was Detective Comics before Batman?
Just pulp noir stories
Oh, okay.
of detectives.
Was anything to do with Gotham before that?
No.
Really?
Nope.
Wow.
Here's this guy who dresses up as a bat.
Gotham.
And then
Came with
a couple
Batman,
years
so
later,
did
there
Jim
was
Gordon.
a guy that I can't remember the name of who dressed up as him, and then there was Adam West.
There was two guys before Adam
Holy
West in the
That's right.
serials, and then a
One with
movie
normal,
show.
one with normal ears.
Holy shit.
Yeah. People love their Spider-Man.
Yep.
Also, is that a sold price or an asking price?
Sold price. Asking price.
Yeah.
So it'll probably go for like a couple mil.
It's going to go for less.
Could
than
you
that.
imagine spending $1 million?
Should I make an
on
offer
comic
of
book?
$1?
No.
Damn.
Don't try it. They'll get mad at you.
That's crazy. Oh, speaking of selling things for high value, I think Logan Paul's about to sell all of his Pokemon cards.
Jesus.
All the
'Cause-
fake ones?
No, his real ones. That because he said I've gotten too into this hobby. I'm gonna sell it. It's like 200,000 odd Pokemon cards. He has like 10 or like 7 level 10 first edition Charizards, which are like $250,000 a piece.
Make a living and a killing off of that, man.
All I know is that Logan Paul he spent $2 million on Pokemon cards once. So for like 10 edition.
And is that tax
first edition
deductible too?
boxes.
No.
I don't know, man. I think it's silly.
Well, I mean it is, but I mean, if it's tax deductible,
Oh, but he did spend $1 million on 3 first edition boxes that he thought were real, but they opened the box and they were fake.
nice.
So he was really mad about that. I would be too, because you just lose out $1 million.
Yeah.
Also, there was a 15-year-old kid on his podcast recently. He made like $850,000 off of YouTube so far, and he's 15.
What does he do?
I have no clue. I don't know who the kid is. I don't know who the kid was. But all I know
Who's
is
his
that
father?
I don't know. A genius, just like Ryan's World's parents.
Probably. We'll figure it out.
I want that much money.
We'll have a child. We'll put him on the show.
I
People
have
love
that
it.
much money. People in the audience, come
It's
rob
true.
me.
Come and find him. That's why we're in a bunker.
That's why we're in a bunker in the middle of Kansas. Come find me.
It used to have a nuclear missile in it, but the government wouldn't sell it to
Dude,
us.
you know how cool that would actually be, though?
To have our own nuclear missile?
No, not nuclear missile. Our own nuclear missile silo.
Oh my god, I would love it.
Like, that'd be dope.
Marvel.
Yeah, sorry. Marvel Comics. There's obscure
You're
characters
talking
that
about A-bomb,
Oh
gamma,
my-
The blue Hulk, yeah.
a gamma radiation,
yeah, he looks like
monster.
Abomination, but blue.
but blue, and he has more spiky, like normal spikes, not spikes made of bones, but like spikes on him.
Like just spiky spikes.
Spiky spikes.
There's
and
no
he
way
could
to
turn
say
in-
that besides
And unlike Abomination, he could turn into a ball and roll around
it's really
like
weird.
an armadillo. I think that's what the
There's
stands
another
for.
character that would go with.
The armadillo, yeah,
Literally another character who's as big as that.
yeah,
who
like huge.
Transforms
I don't
into
think he's
ball.
a gamma radiation
Yeah.
ball.
No, I
Gamma
don't know if
radiation
he's a
monster, though.
mutant or what he is. A mutate, a mutant, a gamma creation. I don't know what he is.
He's a ball man.
He is a ball
He's
man.
a ball man.
So many Hulk characters, now that I think about it, are technically obscure now. Like Doc Samson.
Oh, Doc. Ooh.
Well, think about this.
The
like,
leader, to a certain extent, is
Right.
relatively obscure to
A
most
character
Dark
people.
teased.
Samson.
a character teased in the first.
Yeah, the very
Incredible
first
Hulk
Hulk
movie.
movie, the second movie in the MCU.
Yeah, he was
Doc
teased.
Samson and the
Yeah, Doc Samson and the leader.
yeah.
There's a lot of
We're
other
about to be shed some light
gamma
on
characters.
She-Hulk, which
Yeah, we're finally
which-
getting a She-Hulk product.
which was it's been a while, but
People-
I think this is what they're doing. She-Hulk, since they can't make Hulk projects, they're just gonna make a She-Hulk project, and they're gonna make it mostly about Bruce Banner with a underlining thing with.
Oh yeah, he's
She-Hulk.
he's going to be heavy in the show because they want to do more Hulk stuff because they're tired of not.
I want a
having
World War
the
Hulk stuff,
distribution
and maybe
rights.
since we're getting the Illuminati,
No, that's what's the rumor is that they're
Like-
going to lead into a World War Hulk.
and then
stories.
Hulk is just gonna literally kill everyone.
The rumor is that there's this gamma problem going on.
What if that's how the
and, like,
MCU ends?
Hulk's blood gets to a bunch of people? That's how it ends.
Yeah.
Hulk kills everyone.
What if that's how it
Hulk
ends?
kills the Marvel Universe.
Hulk versus the Marvel Universe.
Then
watch.
Deadpool comes in and says, "Hello."
Because then we'd get the true answer that Hulk is the most powerful
strongest
being.
character ever.
Hulk
this
is the
also a
strongest there
Disney-owned
is.
property now, so.
Yeah, how does what is the update on the Universal stuff with that?
Basically, Universal's making too much money to give it up.
Fair enough.
That's
All
really
I'm
it.
saying is that
It's the thing that
the
holds
fact that
Universal
Captain
afloat anymore.
Marvel, the fact that Captain Marvel and Wanda Maximoff are stronger than the Hulk in this universe, and not just stronger, but like plethora, like so much stronger than Hulk.
When it comes to Scarlet Witch, I'll accept it because she's a
she can
Nexus
cre-
being.
And she
True,
can
she is
create
a Nexus
matter out of
being.
nothing.
But
And
like,
Captain Marvel hasn't met Rogue yet.
True,
So
which
there's
that'd be
certain-
cool.
Oh
I
my
just
God,
want
I'm
Rogue. I
waiting
just
for
want
the
Rogue
day.
to walk up and
I
grab
want
her
Spider
arm.
Hulk, man.
That's kind of what happens.
Yeah, like just,
Spider Hulk.
I want Spider Hulk.
I
Peter
want,
Parker with Hulk's powers and spider powers.
We got Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in one movie with Tom Holland. At this point, let's have Hulk and Spider-Man, and let's have a Spider Hulk.
Well, see, that's like a friendship in the comics, and then they did that heavily in the Amazing Spider-Man TV show. Like that's a friendship that we haven't seen at all.
Spider-Man and Hulk.
Spider-Man and Hulk, yeah.
Because Spider-Man's friends with
Well,
everybody.
it gets along with every, but like
But
Hulk,
Hulk and
finally
Spider-Man.
finds someone like he kind of trusts.
Yeah, like Spider-Man
Hulk,
is the
not
only
Banner.
character.
Not Hulk, not Banner. Like
Right.
Hulk's like, hey yo, I like this guy.
He loves Spider-Man.
right.
Yeah.
The Hulk is Spider-Man is the only person to make the Hulk laugh and become Bruce Banner again.
Yeah.
Like I love that.
He just walks up, hey big guy, sun's getting real low,
Every time.
and he just dies laughing because he's like, you're so stupid, and then he turns into Bruce Banner.
You're
that
so
way.
silly.
the Philly.
That's what the Hulk sounds like when he's not screaming.
The Philly. I really want Thor Ragnarok Hulk back, or Age of Ultron Hulk back.
Where he's, like the Hulk.
The Hulk, not this.
I'd take
Hey,
specifically Thor Ragnarok.
Dab, right? Listen to your mom. She knows better. Shut up. Who are you, bro?
I
Who are
like
you?
I don't know. It's part of it's just Mark Ruffalo,
True.
and I know it would have been a different Bruce Banner completely if
If
they
it was
stuck.
Ed Norton.
Yeah, but he wanted too much creative control.
Did you hear the story of like how they announced to the cast that Mark Ruffalo was going to play the Hulk?
No.
So I don't know if this was a recent story or this is old, but I just saw it recently where Mark Ruffalo's on like a talk show and he's like, yeah, the way they told the cast is that they all showed up. They're like, if there's a car in front of your house at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, you got the part. And so Robert Downey, the whole cast is at his house, and Robert Downey Jr.'s and reprising his role as the Hulk, and everyone starts cheering because they're expecting
Edward Norton.
Everyone starts like, yeah, and then Robert Downey Jr. goes, Mark Ruffalo. And Mark Ruffalo's like, and then everyone's like, yeah.
What?
What? Like everyone's like confused by this, which
I do think Edward Norton looks a bit more like
Bruce Banner,
a crazy
scientist?
Bruce Banner
Yeah.
who's sad and wants to kill himself.
Hey, the multiverse, we might get him back one day.
It's true.
Which I always see the memes where it's like like our Hulk versus Thanos, and it's like shows the scene from Infinity War where he gets his ass kicked. It's like, what would Thanos do if this motherfucker showed up? And then like Incredible Hulk walks in.
You said the F-bomb.
I know.
We'll get it
Um,
with a duck noise.
but like, what do you
Quack.
think? What do you think? How different that universe would go if we got that?
If
Hulk?
we had him doing too much of Edward Norton's input because of the way his contracts were, it would be completely different. He wanted to have a lot more Hulk scenes in the Avengers movie, which to a certain extent I'd take it.
right,
It is what it is.
somewhere in the multiverse.
And that's really where it all ended, and that's what would have shaped the rest of the universe. So it's hard to say because Avengers shaped everything.
Right.
Yeah.
It did.
But
I would
literally.
even take Avengers Hulk back, like that savage of like just like, and Hulk smash. You know?
Right, and then like the face he made, like there's the way they wrote that Hulk,
I need that back. I don't want Professor Hulk yet. I think
or
it's
like
still too early.
just let Taika Waititi take care of Hulk.
I get. Yeah,
He
I
seemed
agree
to
with
get
that.
it for Thor Ragnarok. I don't even know if he wrote any of that, but I'll take it. Just
That was
take it. Do Hulk.
that
Thank
was
you.
that was good because
there
he could
needs to
still
be-
talk. Like he wasn't
Yeah.
illiterate like he was in the first couple of Avengers.
Right.
Like he could talk.
Well,
and
he's
was
probably
like,
still illiterate, but he
Well,
can
yeah.
talk.
yeah. He wasn't. He could use words and
Yeah.
Hulk used crayon.
And Hulk thinks we should get back on topic. I'm just a gauge for y'all's conversation
How
at this
about-
point.
Let's another obscure Marvel character. Dupe. I don't know much about him.
I
He's a
don't wanna talk
floating
about-
bean.
If we're gonna talk about
He's
an
like a
X-Men,
jelly. He's like a human jelly bean.
He really
If
is.
we're gonna talk about X-Men, why start with Dupe?
Because
he looks like a
he's
piece of
dupe.
poop.
Why not Blob or like?
Because dupe.
He's not an obscure hero, but this is my favorite X-Men, Iceman.
Yeah?
Yeah, or Cyclops, or Colossus.
It's weird.
Cyclops kills Professor X at one point.
That's true.
I still haven't gotten over that.
Yeah.
But
Oh well,
Colossus is dope.
Well, Havoc is kind of obscure, and it's his Cyclops.
Yeah, that's
brother.
his brother.
Yeah.
And he has another brother, too, I don't remember the name of. What is his name?
Can't remember.
I don't know. If you ever want to know an obscure Marvel character, literally just look up Marvel Legends, and any of them that are labeled as an X-Men character, it is probably just some random dude. Like Sunspot, or like there's this dude in a wave that came out recently, the way he was sculpted, he didn't even have legs.
Oh.
He just flies around with the power of like rockets,
Yeah.
You know, who's
but
an
out of
obscure-
his abdomen.
You know who's an obscure Marvel character?
Warlock.
Gwenpool.
Gwenpool.
Obscure in the
Eh.
mind.
I want to meet the person that came up with Gwenpool.
Spider-Gwen.
Squirrel Girl used to be an obscure Marvel character.
She really did. Wait, what did you say?
Spider-Gwen.
Never mind.
No, Squirrel Girl was an obscure Marvel character, and then it was revealed that she's the most powerful character in all of Marvel.
Apparently.
Yeah, like it was a joke, and like now looking on it, it is kind of funny. But there's also a lot of people who are like, "Yeah, oh my God, Squirrel Girl is my favorite character." Woo! It's like,
Oh, you hurt
Excuse
yourself
me.
on that one.
yeah, I did. I guess I'm bad mouthing Squirrel Girl. She knows.
She knows.
She knows.
Wasn't she casted?
Yeah, there was going to be a live action. It was the lady from the AT. Was it AT&T?
Yeah.
Really?
That lady. I don't remember. What's her actual name?
She does
Viandra? I don't remember her first name.
Melania. Or
Melania?
Moana.
Milana.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was supposed to be Squirrel Girl. There is actual pictures.
She was a voice for Squirrel Girl.
She
I think.
became the voice, but there was going to be a live action thing,
That's so silly.
and it was gonna be similar to that crappy Hulu
Doesn't
show.
she have like a Hulkbuster armor too?
Probably. Dude, she talks to squirrels, and she's like the most powerful character and gets along with everybody. Like, what doesn't she have? Money.
You know another obscure Marvel character?
Who's that?
Galactus, but from Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer,
Oh, where he's a cloud?
where he's a cloud.
Well, technically, he's supposed to be in the cloud.
yeah, because we see a silhouette,
Yeah.
but like,
And, like, when I was little, I was just like, where? Where? I finally rewatched that scene recently, and you can't actually see it. But when I was a child, I was, like, sitting there, and I was like, I want Galactus.
I think Silver Surfer would be an obscure like character almost.
You would think so, but he permeates pop culture to such a great extent that he's so huge. There's a lot of Marvel characters that are weirdly like
I guess just thinking about that character, he's a weird character.
literally, he's just a naked dude in space that rides a surfboard
Yeah,
who is silver.
who like just guides Galactus to planets he could eat.
Yeah, he guides he is the herald.
Yes.
He warns planets, "Hey, Galactus is coming. Figure it out. It's your problem."
Woo! And then when he finally gets to Earth, he's like, "All right, guys, I guess I'll help.
Yeah, it's like the Fantastic Four
sacrificed-
finally persuades him.
I've sacrificed 3,000 million planets to him, but I guess I'll help now."
Also,
God.
didn't Galactus get turned into a good guy?
Yeah, he's not actually a bad guy.
He's just eating.
Yeah, he has an insatiable. It's like a curse.
He
It's
has
like a
to-
werewolf.
But
Right.
now isn't he like self-sustaining and can make planets again?
That's a thing that they've done a few times.
Yeah.
We'll see what would be
I think the
interesting.
first time that happened was in our lifetime, though.
You know, I just thought of this on the fly. Like right now, I just thought of this. What if Galactus only eats planets that have celestials inside of them, and that's why he came to Earth?
Ooh.
I'd accept it because he has to absorb the
literally just thought of that.
He has to absorb the cosmic energy, and then you can
Right.
rework the Eternals and have it all work
Yeah.
out. You could fix it.
And like
Give
that,
them better costumes. Bring back Icarus.
Bring back Druig.
Yeah, bring back all the characters that died. Even you know what? I'm willing.
Did Druig die?
I don't know what happened. No, he's
speed-
he's one of the few ones that were left
Yeah,
on
the
Earth,
Speed
wasn't
Lady
he?
survived, didn't she?
Yeah, they both survived, and they were no. Wait,
Wait, no, they left in the ship.
No, the Speed Lady and Druig left, right? Because the
which ones were taken by Arashim?
the lady who could transform things into
Cersei.
things, the guy with technology, and a third person. Not the little girl, because she
Athena.
got turned into a real human.
Athena.
Athena, the not Scarlett Johansson.
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
The world
What a
could have-
great movie.
Yeah, the world could have been a better place.
There's actually like comic books where like the Galactus comes across the Celestials and the Celestials just bully the crap out of him and like kick him over like and just beat him up. And then Galactus is like, okay,
It's like, fine.
can't have this, and he like fights back a little bit, and the Celestials basically just laugh at him.
Yeah, it's like having a creature that like there's so many things that Galactus can do.
Right.
Like he can just swat away things.
Like the Avengers.
We are not even flies underneath his
Boot.
like his look,
like
his gaze. That's the word I'm looking
in the
for.
words of Nick Fury in Avengers 1's, ant meat boot. That's Galactus to us.
Pretty much.
Like
We're barely that. We are the picnic basket that he is a bear to.
it's so funny though because like I'm thinking about that more now. It's like, what if that's like the whole thing of Galactus? Is that he just goes to where Celestials are and he's like cutting off more Celestials from being born, therefore like kind of protecting the universe.
They kind of elaborate to a certain extent that he eats planets to just sustain his cosmic hunger. And I think that would add a new layer to it.
Right. And so, like, what I think is that I don't think we're going to get a Galactus in the MCU because I think Ego kind of already filled that, like, threat. Ego traveled to different planets, and he planted his seed, and he was like, I'm going to just, instead of eating them, he's just like, they're mine now.
They are mine. I have claimed them.
Ego versus the Green Lantern planet. Who wins?
Oh, Oa?
Not
It's
Oa. Not
oh,
Oa.
like you, not Oa, but
like
the one that's actual Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Probably him, to be honest.
Not Oa, because Oa's not like
Yeah, it's
a
not
living thing.
sentient.
It's just a planet. But like the actual planet that dons
the ring.
Seriously, there's one.
You've never seen that?
No.
Dude, yeah, there's an actual legitimate planet. Like a planet.
It is a lantern.
That's
That
a
is
that's a
fantastic.
Green Lantern.
That is fantastic.
Like when you look at it from like
And
an
I think
outer
that's where
space
they-
perspective, it even has the logo
And
on it.
Yeah.
fantastic.
And like I think that's where like he makes the rings for like the Lantern Corps, I think.
Something. I remember those coming out of the actual lantern, like on Oa or something. I don't remember. It depends. Every decade they change it.
We
So
should do this.
the Green
we should
Lanterns
do
have a
this
Death
again.
Star.
We should do this again for DC characters.
Well, we're
I
already
would agree
doing
with
it
that.
at this point.
To a certain degree.
Yeah, but we're not going.
There's
too
a
far,
lot
I think.
more DC characters
We haven't
that have
even
been forgotten.
mentioned like the most iconic, obscure. DC
Half of all of
characters.
Batman's rogues gallery. More than half of the Flashes.
Right.
What,
All
okay,
of the Suicide Squad.
How about like a lot of like Spider-Man or like
Dude,
villains?
That's one I meant to talk
Think
about
about
earlier.
the Beetle.
The Beetle, there's been a huge character that like people know about him, they've parodied him, but I still call him obscure to a certain extent because people don't know much about him.
Yeah.
Craven
Raven
the Hunter.
I knew it. I knew you were going to
like,
say that.
Because like they have the kid that used to play Kick-Ass, he's gonna play him
And I think probably the Sonyverse, the one with
somewhere
Venom,
Yeah.
in the
he's
Venom
probably
universe.
gonna hunt Venom.
And like I was also thinking about him when it came down to talking about Kazar, because of the fact why hasn't Craven? Why is Spider-Man the most dangerous hunt? Why is he what Spider-Man? Why is he after Spider-Man? There are so many other characters.
Wolverine,
Kazar,
Hulk,
almost anybody
the Hulk.
that's not Spider-Man. The Hulk, literally.
Galactus. Go hunt Galactus.
Go
That
hunt
was
Galactus. Good luck.
Ghost Rider,
Yeah.
Daredevil.
Everyone.
Iron Man. Any of the.
It's like I understand that
Why not Odin?
It's supposed to be animal themed to a certain extent, which works to like especially Wolverine,
Yeah.
who is very
Sabretooth.
animal.
Sabretooth's a villain though.
Kazar, he literally lives in the Savage Lands, or like he could
He's
probably hunt
freaking-
any.
Hasn't
of the
Craven
X-Men
gone to the Savage Lands and
Oh,
killed
like,
like a T-Rex
all the
and-
time?
Yeah.
It,
I actually
Craven-
liked him a lot. The version that they did in the Amazing Spider-Man show,
Oh,
like
yeah.
because all of his weapons were like lasers. Like and
Wait,
stuff.
are we talking about the Amazing Spider-Man show or Ultimate Spider-Man?
the Ultimate Spider-Man? Sorry.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
The one with Drake Bell does the
Yeah.
voice.
I liked their Kazar.
They're
I did not like their Kazar very much. I felt it could have been better. That's a different story.
but they're Craven.
I like their Craven.
Their Craven like had
And
like
that was the thing about their Craven. They introduce him because he's after White Tiger,
right.
not Spider-Man.
White
Tiger. A
White Tiger's
character
probably
who
like
is
an-
much more, not as quippy and much more. I'm gonna murder you. Black Panther. Why doesn't he hunt Black Panther?
Well, because he'd have to go to Wakanda, and that's kind of a We know what happens to outsiders.
So you mean
that
it would
go
be a
from-
very dangerous hunt and a wild prey that would be hard to catch?
Yeah.
Mean that it would entice him even more?
Yeah.
So
I think Kraven is probably.
why hasn't he hunted
Why hasn't he
Black
hunted
Panther.
Deadpool?
Deadpool?
Deadpool can't die.
Oh,
Because
So he would be the perfect thing to prey on because he
Wolverine
could continuously.
can't die.
yes, he can. If
He
you cut off his
can.
head,
It's hard.
you have to fully remove his head from his body, right?
It used to be that. They've changed that.
What is it now?
You kind of have to like.
Because the last time
you
I
have
thought-
to straight up just get like rid of everything.
Because the last time I knew, if you cut off his head,
I feel
died.
like they did something within our lifetime where they have to like he came back
Every
from like a pool
la-
of blood.
Every last
I
atom.
thought
has to be
Daredevil. I thought
gone.
Daredevil. I mean, not Daredevil. I'm sorry.
Deadpool's
Deadpool. I thought
Deadpool's
Deadpool
done
was
that
like that.
like for years.
Yeah, Deadpool was.
But I thought they
Deadpool
did
created
that
a
with
new
like,
Deadpool
Deadpool.
could
Wolverine.
heal from a atom, one of his atoms left over.
Pretty much
What happens to the discarded hand?
rots away. I've always thought that. Why not? Why isn't Deadpool kind of like a starfish? You know how terrifying that
be.
would be.
He
There's
could
our
be, we just
story.
don't know.
There's our market money story. I'm gonna go to Marvel. And I'm gonna suggest, hey, let me be your lead writer.
You could have like an extension from the Daredevil. Fuck. Why do I keep saying Daredevil?
He's on your mind.
Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. You could have like an extension where like all of the discarded blood and body parts just grew a new Deadpool.
It's just a universe
and
of
it's just,
Deadpools.
now it's just Deadpool.
It is only Deadpool. Imagine how scary that would be.
I mean, imagine like Ultron going through like the Infinity Gauntlet, Ultron going through universes and just coming across a whole bunch of Deadpools.
That'd be terrifying. He couldn't destroy it. Well, he has the powers
I mean,
of
he
Infinity
could just
Stones.
tear down the whole universe and start
Just
new.
wipe over, which that's its own thing.
Yeah.
Remember before they did the movies how Thanos was extremely obscure. The
Yeah.
Infinity Gauntlet was obscure.
Well,
Adam Warlock. All these characters.
well,
Annihilus.
obscure
Adam
to
Warlock
Living
is
obscure
Tribunal.
to the non educated, basically.
I mean, yeah. Thanos was still like
yeah,
a
that's
low
true.
tier
Like, think about for all of
thing.
all moviegoers who have only known the movies, like how weird
How-
Iron Man was.
Yeah, like how much of an alcoholic he was.
Yeah.
Like no one gave a crap about Iron Man
Until the movie.
Until RDJ.
until 2008. Like there was people that obviously cared because it sold comics, but
Yeah.
Right. Well, see, like if you didn't read comics, you didn't know who Iron Man was.
right, you would not have cared. There was bigger characters.
I mean, there was
The
there
X-Men.
was an Iron Man movie
Spaghetti
way
Man.
back when.
I'm pretty sure the Blob had his own title for a short time.
Yeah, the X-Men, Spider-Man, Blade, like those were and Daredevil were like the
Like Marvel Knights was huge. Blade literally saved Marvel's ass
In the
entirely.
90s, yeah.
Into the 90s, Blade literally like is the thing that peeled Marvel out of bankruptcy.
yeah, and
and
because they
dying.
got to, and then the next couple years they got to do Spider-Man.
and that sealed the deal.
Yep. Think about that.
God bless this world.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Wesley Snipes.
And on the note of Wesley Snipes, we are out of time for this week's episode of the podcast. Please make sure to leave a like if you haven't already. Please let us know down in the comments whether you want to see this kind of episode for DC characters. We would love to do that. Wyatt, what's the secret word?
Craven.
What?
Craven.
Craven? All right, the secret word is Craven for this week. Make sure to go down to the comments and comment Craven. It really helps us out in the algorithm that we call YouTube. Please make sure to subscribe. Please make sure to like. Please make sure to ring the bell next to the subscribe button. And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.